by sharing this very simple statement that my pastor shared with me just this year. She said to me, we are not identical. I know that sounds a little obvious, but like when she said it to me, I was like, you're right. We are actually not identical. And what she meant to say was that sometimes our differences do cause some friction, and we need to learn to live with one another because we are not identical. And so as long as you're on earth and you choose to interact with even just one person out of the billions, a time will come when you will have to forgive them for something that they have done to you. It is only a matter of when and not if. So this video, we are going to talk about forgiveness. I know people are going through so many different things in their lives. You could have that mother-in-law that puts the cruel in Cruella de Vil, or maybe you have a sibling that gets all the credit, or a boyfriend that left you for your best friend. Either way, guys, a time might come when we feel let down, left out, or let go of. And at that time, we need to decide what it is we are going to do. I mean, people deal with hurt differently, even as Christians. I remember a few years back, if you do something wrong to me, I just went into a complete delete mode. You at that time mean nothing to me. You are as good, as useful to me as the G in lasagna. We could be the last two people on planet Earth and that would not change anything. That's it. We are done. Control, Alter, delete. And I know people deal with things differently. Some people will go out and they will plan their comeback. They will be at you with the most sneakiest, crudest invention of evil that they could have thought up. Or there are some people that, someone does something wrong to them and they just take it and they brood over it and they let it like eat up their insides. Or there are other people that just wait for the opportune time, like wait until the day you need me. When that day comes, I will remind you of what you did to me. The Bible lets us know how we as Christians should deal with hurt, and it lets us know that we are to forgive. Find strength in this, that there is nothing that hurts us that God can't heal. Every single thing that hurts, that pinches, that punches, God can heal. And I know it's easier. It's just so much easier to blame someone. I've been there, like, it's there in black and white. You did this, it's why I feel this way. You acted this way, it's why I feel this way. It's why I act this way. You made me like this. But remember, no one is responsible for your happiness except you. Not your parents, not your boyfriend or your girlfriend, not your teacher, not your husband or your wife. And I dare say this, not even God. Because I mean, if God were responsible for your happiness, you would be happy all the time. But haven't you seen that you are happy when you choose to be happy? You are sad when you choose to be sad. So only one person is responsible for your happiness, and that is you. So choose to hold on to it. Choose to maintain your happiness. You are in charge. And guys, there is such a thin line between hurt and hate. And you know how it is. Hurting people hurt people. If you choose to live in unforgiveness, that cycle will just keep going on and on and on. But you can choose to end that cycle by deciding to forgive. Listen, we cannot control how we are treated, but we can control our response. And that is what matters, how we choose to respond to something. Will we choose to remain hurt, brought down? Or will we choose to say, you know what, they did do this to me, but that is not going to stop me from living my victorious life. You house God. Do not let resentment, hurt, anger also dwell inside of you. Choose, decide to say, listen, this person has hurt me, but I decide to forgive and to not allow those things to make their home in me. Because I am too beautiful for that. You are too beautiful for that. Unforgiveness is baggage that will drain your joy. It will deflate your hope and taint your happiness. And your life is too important for that. Hurt brings you down. And I know, like, you've been there. Like, when you feel hurt, you actually feel down. And bitterness, well, that will hold you down. And unforgiveness will keep you down. But do not let it. Do not allow for your life to be put on hold simply because of something that someone did to you. Don't wait for someone to deserve your forgiveness for you to give it, because forgiveness is more about the condition of your heart. If you choose to remain in unforgiveness, it's gonna taint your heart, and your heart is so important because it affects how you live your life every single day. I know a lot of people feel like, well, if I forgive that person, then I am endorsing that behavior, or you're encouraging that behavior. But that is not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is actually giving yourself permission to move on and not be held back by how this person decides to act. You might be there and you're thinking good and well, and I believe what you're saying, but it is so hard for me to even think of forgiving this person. Guys, I'm going to ask you to just trust God. Trust that He's not going to ask you to do something you can't do, and He's not going to lead you astray. Because if He's asked us to forgive, surely He knows that it's for our good. So just step in, move by faith, act in faith, and decide to say that if God says it, that is what I'm going to do. Base your actions on that. You might not feel it, but here it is. God said it, therefore I am going to do it, and that is final. That's it. I really don't feel like doing it. You know what? God help me, if I could, I would do the complete opposite. But God has asked for me to do this, and that is why I'm going to do it. Therefore, I am going to move in faith and do it. And you know what? Faith pleases God. Do it because He said it. Don't do it because you feel like it. So guys, please remember that life is actually short and too important to be held back by pain and hurt. Your destiny is too big to be slowed down by something that somebody did. That people have been through terrible, inexcusable things, and for that I am deeply sorry. But it's time for you to move on. Just do yourself that favor and move on. And if at all you will remember anything from this video, then just remember these three things. That one, God will not ask you to do what He knows you cannot do. He is not unreasonable like that. Number two, God will not ask you to do what He Himself did not do, or He will ask you only to do what He Himself did. And number three, everything that God asks us to do is always for our good. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I do hope that this video helps you take that one step forward. Hit me up with some comments down below, or message me, or whatever suits you if this video did help. Otherwise, see you next time, guys. Bye.